think we'll get started. Hello, everyone, and thanks very much to those of you who could log on and attend our webinar about becoming a social media pro in time for NDBN's annual Diaper Need Awareness Week. We have some great presenters, and I'm going to let them get started after I make a brief announcement that we're going to be recording the webinar, and if you are calling in and you want to ask questions at the end or join the discussion, I'll unmute everybody. If you are following along on your computer, you can also send messages via chat. So for our presentation today, we have Cori Benson and Stephanie Zurn from Eastside Baby. Cori is the Community Engagement Specialist at Eastside Baby, and Stephanie is the Communications Specialist. And Cori's presentation last year at the conference, the Diaper Banks of America conference, was a huge hit and very popular. I know they're going to cover a whole range of social media tools and advice from very basic to some really useful strategies for people that are already really familiar with Facebook and Twitter and other social media. And then we'll hear from Troy Moore, our Director of Communications and Development, about some new and exciting opportunities that we're going to be activating this year for the first time, and one for the second time, so that's going to be really fun. And I'm going to turn it over to Cori and Stephanie right now.
Hi, my name is Stephanie Zurn. I'm joined by Cori Benson. We are the team responsible for social media here at Eastside Baby Corner. For those of you who are not familiar with Eastside Baby Corner, we have been here for 25 years. We've been providing basics for kids aged birth to 12, including clothing, car seats, equipment, food, formula, and of course, diapers. We'd like to thank you for joining us today. Our hope is that this webinar will help you become a little bit more comfortable using social media so that you can participate in some of the exciting happenings surrounding Diaper Need Awareness Week. If you would like to tweet us during this webinar, our Twitter handle is @BabyCorner. We would love to hear from you, and this might be great practice for you to begin using some of the tools that we're talking about. So again, that is @BabyCorner. As we move into our outline, what you can expect from us today is that we will begin by introducing you to the different social media outlets and talking about which ones you should probably give your attention to and why. We'll get into Facebook a little bit. Most of you probably use Facebook, so we won't spend a lot of time on the basics, but instead we'll give you some tips for using it more effectively. Next, we'll get into Twitter, which probably fewer of you are using, so we will start at an easier level and, again, move beyond the basics and help you get going with Twitter. Once we've introduced those tools, we're going to help you incorporate them into your media plan, and we're going to give you some great tips for how to do that. Finally, Troy will jump on and tell you about the special Twitter party and different initiatives we have going, and then we are going to open it up for questions. So to get us started, here is Cori.
Okay, so first of all, why do we need social media? First of all, it increases your awareness of your organization. It allows you to build relationships on a local, regional, and even worldwide level. And it allows you to connect with your community to share your knowledge and expertise in the field. And hopefully, it will lead to a boost in donations. So there are so many social media platforms out there, but what most nonprofits want to know is, with such limited time and resources, which ones will give me the biggest bang for the buck? You can see on the next page on this graph, we show the top 5 social media sites, with those 5 being Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Pinterest, and Google+. As you can tell from the graph, Facebook is still the #1 social media platform with nearly 50% of users on Facebook, and Twitter comes in second. It's important to know that while nothing is replacing Facebook or Twitter, they are the cornerstones of social media and the two platforms we will be covering in today's webinar, and the two we feel will give you the biggest bang for your buck. Oh, there we go. We're having trouble switching slides. Okay, so who uses social media? The assumption is social media is for millennials and teenagers. However, this graph breaks down social media by age and shows us that there is a quickly growing demographic of social users of a more, well, mature age.
Sorry, a little trouble. There we go.
If we take teens out of the social media equation, we'll see the breakdown of adults who use social media on a regular basis and what platforms they frequent the most. Again, Facebook emerges as the most used social media site. So we're going to get started on Facebook. Just a couple of facts. Facebook is a social media platform that allows users to share photos, videos, and messages while keeping in touch with friends, family, and followers. Facebook has more than 955 million monthly active users, with 58% of those people being on Facebook daily. It also has 2.7 billion likes every single day, and a like is literally someone clicking a thumbs up button on Facebook to tell the poster that, I like that. Most of us use Facebook personally, and while there are similarities between your personal and nonprofit Facebook pages, there are several differences to note. First of all, Facebook allows your nonprofit to tell your story and create conversation to get people talking and to share your message. It's important to ask questions and use question marks instead of periods to encourage people to like and comment on your posts. Make sure you're responding personally to comments and make sure your supporters feel like they are the superstars. Stay positive or stay silent, or at least stay neutral, because once negativity is introduced into your social media, your credibility will diminish greatly. Avoid trolls, hecklers, and contrarians that just want to fight you on your topic. And as we know, diaper need is people are very passionate about diapers and diaper need. Stay relentlessly constructive by not going round and round to argue a point. Just let it go. Your impact will grow when your supporters and followers share your content with their friends. And to do that, make sure you're sharing rich content with photos and videos. Every post should include a photo or video, and you'll see that there's a 400% boost rate for posts with media opposed to those without. And finally, make sure you're sharing exclusive content. Give your audience a chance to see the behind-the-scenes looks at your organization. Schedule regular posts on specific days. For example, spotlight a volunteer every Monday, or participate in a Throwback Thursday post, or schedule a Q&A session and ask people to ask questions about your organization. While you're out and about, don't forget that mobile uploads are a great way to share posts in real time. And finally, people are nosy. We like to see what's going on behind the scenes and behind closed doors. We like to see things like semis filled with diapers being unloaded or volunteers counting and sorting diapers. So those behind-the-scenes look at your organization, people really like to see. This page shows 4 examples of some nonprofit pages that, Facebook pages that are being done really effectively. When you get a chance, you can look at them and see what they're doing. Before we move on to Twitter, again, I'll remind you that we'll have a Q&A session at the end, and if you have any Facebook questions, you feel free to ask them at that point. So for Twitter, I'm going to go a little bit more in depth into the how-to of Twitter than I did with Facebook. This will be helpful for new Twitter users who want to participate in next week's Twitter party, which Troy will talk about a little bit later in the presentation. So Twitter is a social media platform that allows users to send and read short 140-character messages called tweets, as well as photos and videos in real time. Twitter has over 500 million registered users, and more than 50% of users follow companies and nonprofits like ourselves. So here's kind of the how-to of Twitter, short and sweet. First of all, once you log into Twitter, just click the tweet button in the top right-hand corner, write your message, and hit send. Don't forget it has to be less than 140 characters for it to post. If you see a tweet that you like and you want to respond to it, just click the reply button, leave the name of the person in the box that pops up, and write your message after their name and click send. Like I mentioned with Facebook, the more people who share your content, the larger your reach will be and the more people will see it, and that can easily be done by retweeting a tweet, which basically takes someone else's tweet and shares it out to all of your friends, fans, and followers. Another big mystery about Twitter are hashtags, what they are and how they work, and I'll cover that a little bit later in the webinar. So Twitter allows your nonprofit to engage with donors in real time. There is no longer a need for them to wait for a newsletter for announcements and acknowledgments and connect with donors, volunteers, and followers. It's a great platform to build relationships with journalists and bloggers who scan their Twitter feeds looking for story ideas and leads, and by you interacting with them, you're increasing the likelihood of them picking up your story or coming to you for additional information. Also gives you the opportunity to build authority for your organization when you tweet about your mission and spread knowledge and awareness about your cause. Turn yourself into the authority on the work you do and have people look to you for information and expertise. Twitter can lead to higher search engine rankings, increased engagement, more traffic to your website, and the ability to connect with journalists and bloggers in a different environment. Again, here are 4 effective nonprofit Twitter pages that you can check out to see what they're doing effectively. At this point, I'm going to turn the time back over to Stephanie to talk about a media plan.
So now that you've learned more about these tools, let's talk about how to best incorporate them into your media plan. If I had to pick a best practices motto in regards to social media, it would be go with the flow. So for me, this means connecting everything to keep your audience engaged for as long as possible. So it might be that you pass them from your Facebook page to your Twitter page and then to your website, but you want to keep them with you as long as you possibly can. I find an easy way to do this is to start with a home base for each campaign. I'm going to stop myself right here. I want to address the word campaign because I know that that sometimes causes confusion for some people. But when I say campaign, I'm referring to a specific set of marketing actions that might be your social media, your PR efforts, your ad buys, or whatever it is that you're using to attempt to create awareness for a specific happening. Examples of those might be an event, your winter campaign, a piece of legislation you'd like people to notice. For this presentation, our campaign is going to be Diaper Need Awareness Week. So back to your home base. Your home base can be a blog post. It can be a website landing page. You may use the events tool in Constant Contact, and you can set up a landing page there. I think the ideal situation is if you have a blog that's incorporated into your website, because this helps drive traffic to your website. But if you don't have that, if your blog is not incorporated, you use whatever you have. We are currently rebuilding our site, and until our new site goes live, our blog is not connected to our website, so that's what we use. From our home base, we're going to build out a plan that allows us to flow from one platform to the next. So as we move to the next slide, we'll see that in action, but before we do that, I did want to draw your attention to the final point on this slide, which is maintenance posts. I'm going to get into these a little bit more in a minute, but I just want to point out that while our campaign is going on, if we only focus on our campaign, sometimes people will become bored and they might check out. So we want to keep maintenance posts in the mix so that we can keep up diversity and keep our our followers engaged. So here you see just kind of a roughed out chart of what your plan can look like from your home base. You might go to Twitter or Facebook, or you might be submitting a press release or editorial to the traditional media. With other outlets, you might have an e-newsletter, or you might have a regular blogger who covers you, or a local mom's event site like we have here. We have something called Macaroni Kid. It's a national parenting source, but they happen to be really active in our area, and they are really good friends to EBC, so they cover us a lot. So they're part of our media plan. Your plan should take into account your outlets so that you know the best direction for you. So here I've plugged in a few examples of things we can do for National Diaper Need Awareness Week. For us, our plan was to actually have 2 home bases on this campaign. They both are blogs on our offsite blog. We did the first one, which was called Giving Diapers to Families in Need is Really Important, and Here's Why. This is our fact-heavy piece. It has statistics about diaper need. It's where we'll send people throughout the campaign if we want them to know the facts. It, of course, links back to our Facebook and our Twitter pages and to our website. We've also linked to it from our e-news, so we are going with the flow. Our second blog, which is the one featured here, is called What You Need to Know for National Diaper Need Awareness Week. This one is our call to action piece. This is the one that tells people how they can get involved. It, of course, links to our blog posts, our Facebook, at least to the past blog posts, Facebook, Twitter, website, to our e-news, and as I've said, we're going with the flow, so go with the flow. This blog was really fun for me because I was able to come up with some fun Facebook and Twitter posts that I'm hoping will generate some attention. The one we used, I'll share with you, that we used to announce the post is Love Social Media. Here are 3 ways you can help local kids just by hanging out on Facebook. So I think people will find that interesting. So let's take a look at the slide just for some ideas. As I've said, with Facebook and Twitter, we are going to announce the post using the post that I just read to you. With Facebook, we are able to go a little bit more in depth because we're not limited to 140 characters. So we can do some things like share stories of a family affected by diaper need, tell a donor story, maybe people that are helping you buy the diapers, tell a volunteer story. Here at EBC, we have a group of volunteers responsible for diaper orders. They're called the Diaper Divas. So we will likely feature them during this time. On Twitter, as I said in my post, there are 3 ways you can help. We've mentioned 3 ways, so each of those can be a Twitter post. You can highlight a single way to get involved in each post so that you have multiple options to use in Twitter. In the traditional media section, we've decided we're going to write an editorial for this, so that is in progress. And for our other outlets, we've included it in our e-news, and we also have a print newsletter, and we've included it there. This next slide is an example of our social media calendar for this month. You'll notice that this month we have 2 campaigns because we had a big event on the 12th, Pants Party, and then you'll notice at the end of the month is Diaper Need Awareness Week. So if you just take a look here, you can see all of the posts indicated by the PP mark relate to our Pants Party, and anything that says diapers is related to Diaper Need Awareness Week. You'll also notice some of the fill-in posts, for example, the bikes post on the 14th, and Raquel's post on the 17th. We have e-news on the 23rd and Hub Happenings on the 22nd. So this is an example of how we make sure that we're getting a lot of attention to our campaign, but also making sure to keep it diverse and keep people interested. Before I turn it back over to Cori, I do want to talk a tiny bit more on those maintenance posts. So let's begin with maintenance posts, the why. As Cori mentioned, the more you interact with your audience, the more people are going to see your post, and it's going to grow your reach. Also, if you are consistent, people are going to rely on you, and they're going to expect to find you on social media. We laugh around here because Cori and I are on social media all of the time, so people expect us to find us there, but if you're not able to put in the kind of time that we do, just do what you can. I will warn you that don't be surprised once you get started if you don't find yourself addicted, especially to Twitter, which is my personal favorite, and I think it's Cori's as well. So on to the how of maintenance posts. Plans and routine take the guesswork out of the post. Cori touched on that a good bit when she said maybe you participate in Throwback Thursday, or you have a regular day where you feature volunteers, or just anything that makes it easier for you so that you're going to use it more often. Some people use the 80-20 rule. This is 80% of your posts focus on your organization and 20% on your cause. So for us, this would be 80% talking about what's going on here at Eastside Baby Corner and 20% talking about diaper need. You can kind of work that out and figure out what works for you. Also, with your maintenance posts, it is very important to remember to continue linking it to either your website, your other social media channels, or you can link back to past campaigns. So continue to go with the flow throughout your maintenance posts. I'm going to turn it back to Cori now, and she's going to give you some really great tips on how to make that happen.
Okay, so first thing we're going to talk about is, now that you kind of have an intro into Facebook and Twitter, we're going to talk a little bit about writing your post. There's several things to consider and think about when writing your post. The first thing is you need to know your story. If you're not the founder of your organization, if you have a volunteer doing your social media, or you're not so sure yourself, make sure you, if possible, sit down with the founder. Find out why he or she started the organization, so that you can be able to figure out who your organization's unique voice is and figure out how you can bring your organization's story to life in a compelling, authentic, and personal way. You also have to know who your audience is. Who are your constituents? Are you trying to connect with teenagers? Are you trying to connect with the older generation? Are you, most of us are trying to connect with those moms with kids in diapers. Whoever they are, we need to know who they are and how do they want to connect with you, and what content is important to them. You also need to have goals. You need to figure out what relationship do you want with your readers. Do you want to just provide them with information that is just fact-based, or do you want them to have kind of more of a open kind of line of communication? And again, finding out what content is important to them will really help your posts. Talk to your audience by using you. Pull them in, make them feel that they can make a difference in your organization and in their community. Make sure you're writing compelling content that readers can connect with by writing candid personal stories and behind-the-scenes looks at your organization. Each month, Eastside Baby Corner does an impact story. We spotlight a program or a family we're helping and share these stories with our readers, and these always have the highest reach for us each month. It's a great way for our volunteers, our donors, and all of our followers on Facebook to really kind of see the after effect of all of our hard work. Another tip is using words like help us help kids, and providing a direct impact will really help the reader connect with your organization. For instance, $50 will provide enough diapers for over 200 changes. We'll tell the reader how they can get involved and they can make a difference for a child in their community. Okay, hashtags, I think people think are the scariest part about Twitter, and actually hashtags can be used on any and all social media platforms, but they're primarily used on Twitter. So first off, what is a hashtag? A hashtag is what used to be the pound sign. If you look at the top of the screen, you see the pound sign hashtag. That pound sign is now called a hashtag, and it is followed by a word or string of words put together without spaces. And what they do is they group messages with similar content together to make it easier to search on a specific topic. For example, diaper need. If you were to put the hashtag diaper need into the search engine, it will pull up all tweets related to diaper need. There are a lot of other hashtags out there. So scan your Twitter feed, see what your followers, your friends, your fans are using to figure out what other ones are out there. And a lot of people want to know if they can make up their own hashtag. Yes, you definitely can, but make sure you do your research first to make sure it's not being used in a way you do not want associated with your organization. Here at EBC, we tend to use the hashtag diaper need and hashtag diaper on, but we also use, for our own use, we use the hashtag helping kids thrive, hashtag EBC pants party, and hashtag EBC volunteers rock. Troy will talk in a bit about the Twitter party that we have coming up next week, but just know to fully participate, you'll want to and need to include the hashtag diaper need in all your tweets. Okay, so we're going to move into scheduling your posts. First of all, when scheduling, make sure you have a plan, be consistent, and post often. Like Stephanie mentioned, we use a calendar to pre-plan out what's being posted for the month so we get a nice variety. And one of the questions I hear most often is how often should we be posting? For Facebook, it's recommended that you post at least every other day for best frequency to get and keep page likes. We recently went from posting 3 days a week to 5. And actually had a great amount of success in gaining new followers and having a higher reach total. Twitter is a little bit different. Post at least once a day. More is better and vary time slightly. Try not to post, 10 tweets all at once and then walk away for the day because it will quickly get buried. And it's okay to post all day long. And unlike with Facebook, the more you post, the better for your organization. It's also okay to schedule tweets ahead of time, but it is recommended you avoid posting on the hour or the half hour, vary the time slightly. For most people who schedule tweets, they do them on during those 2 time periods, so your tweet will most likely get lost. Also, don't forget to check, reply, and retweet your Twitter feed to see what others are saying and interact with them. So what times of the day should you be posting? People tweet, people Facebook when they are eating. So anytime people are eating, so breakfast time, between 8 and 9 a.m., lunchtime, the end of the day. But the best time to actually tweet is evenings after 9:30, once the kids are in bed. Moms and dads finally have a time to themselves to sit down on their phone and see what's going on in the world. We've found that we've looked at our analytics for both Twitter and Facebook, and for Facebook, we schedule our Facebook posts to go between 8:30 and 9:30 because that is when our readership is the highest. So you can also look at your analytics to find that best sweet spot time. Don't forget weekends. So many of us are technically, working 24/7, it seems like. You don't need to be doing this over the weekend. You can schedule ahead of time. Great options are using a site called Hootsuite or TweetDeck to pre-write and pre-schedule posts to go out. But weekends, a lot of people are on social media. A couple other tips, especially for Twitter. Keep your tweet short and sweet, less than 125 characters. Remember, you can have 140 characters for a tweet, but less than 125 will allow for someone to retweet your information a lot easier. If it goes over that, often some things will get dropped off the message. Make sure you choose the right words and phrases. Make sure you're using action words, more verbs, and fewer nouns. And it's okay to ask people to retweet your work. And it's also okay to include in your actual tweet, please retweet this, and many times people will. A great way to stay connected and organized is utilize the Twitter list feature, which basically allows you to categorize Twitter users and hashtags to simplify and clean up your feed. That way you can easily, if you just want to look at diaper banks and what diaper bankers are doing, you can just click open that list and see what they're doing. We at Eastside Baby Corner mainly use 3 Twitter lists, diaper banks, to see what all of you guys are doing. Also, we follow our local nonprofits and our providers, and also always just keeping a finger on news and media to see how we can connect in with them. Remember, you don't have to go at this alone. One of the best tips I got when I started out was to come up with a designated group of individuals, a team. It can be volunteers, staff, board members, who are willing to spend 5 to 10 minutes every week sharing your content to their followers. So sharing a Facebook post, retweeting a tweet, and asking them to share and retweet, and having their friends share and retweet will, again, push your reach higher and higher. I'm now going to turn the time over to Troy, who's going to talk about a couple special projects we have social media-wise for Diaper Need Awareness Week.
Thank you, Cori. Stephanie, thank you very much. That was very thorough and wonderful. Thanks a lot. I actually wrote down a lot of notes myself. I think you had great comments. Time of day is always interesting, what to do, and also just the voice that you're going to have on Facebook and Twitter can be different, and that takes a while to find your voice. But don't be afraid of playing around and posting things and seeing what kind of responses you get. So I think, those words of advice were very, very helpful. We're going to talk a little bit about something we've got going on right now, which I think, hopefully you have seen is our push for what's called a thunderclap. And a thunderclap is kind of a one-time post that we're asking, people to donate one tweet that's going to go out at a specific time. This one will go out at 3 p.m. Eastern Time on September 30th. And the message basically is help local diaper banks keep all babies clean, dry, and healthy. Retweet to support Diaper Need Awareness Week. It comes with there'll be a link to the diaperneed.org website, which is our sister site that we talk about Diaper Need Awareness Week and everything that's going on. But it also will include an image in the tweet that's a nice graphic that basically says all babies deserve clean diapers. 1 in 3 American families reports diaper need, and then has the date of Diaper Need Awareness Week. And so this is the first time we've done this. And so we didn't really know what to expect. And we launched the platform, the initiative, about a week ago, actually less than a week ago. And we've already reached our initial goal of 100 supporters. And we're up to, I think, 103 supporters now. But more importantly, this is a combined social media effort. So everybody who signs up to follow us or be a part of this campaign via Twitter, Facebook, and also Tumblr, which we didn't talk about, but people can sign up also via Tumblr. We're almost at 250,000 people on our social media reach. So we're going to continue to make a push with this throughout the next week, until next Wednesday, and see if we can get it up to maybe 500,000 on our social media reach. So we're looking for support on that, and we'll be, we keep posting tweets out there and pushing tweets out, asking people to support us, individuals that have large followers, large list of followers, and we've had some good ones. We've had some folks that have 55,000 followers and likes that have signed on to allow us to push a tweet out. Thunderclap is an interesting service because there is a free component to Thunderclap. That basically you set a goal. The minimum goal of supporters number of supporters is 100, and we decided to go for a paid version of this, which was $45 for this particular initiative, and that allowed us that if we didn't reach our goal of 100, our Thunderclap would still be pushed out. And it also provides us with a few updates here and there of where we stand. You can pay a lot more and get all sorts of analytics with the Thunderclap, but since this is our first time out, we decided let's just roll the dice here and see what happens. But we've been very, very pleased with this because we think that hopefully, if we can get to a certain number, that we might possibly trend with diaper need, the hashtag diaper need during Diaper Need Awareness Week in the middle of the week. And so that's kind of the goal of this, is just to really get a lot of push out there. Hopefully, once it goes, widespread, if a number of people see it multiple times on their feed, they may say, what is this? Click on it and maybe even retweet it themselves so it can continue to have a longer shelf life. And I think that's the beauty of it, because one of the things that we have as a network is our combined social media reach. Who are we touching? Who are our audiences out there? And while we all have our own individual donors and supporters, we also have a lot of media contacts out there, people that we're following or that follow us. And so, it's kind of the more the merrier scenario in this, and hopefully we can reach a critical mass that people will take note and say, what is this week? What's this talk? What is this diaper need stuff? And learn more about diaper banks, the work that we're all doing collectively, and push that out. So again, this initiative is going out on September 30th at 3 p.m. And if you haven't signed up in support with your Facebook page or a Twitter page, and if you have a Tumblr page, you can sign up that way. Let us know if you don't have the information, and we'll get it to you. But if you go to our Twitter feed, and our handle, if you don't know, is at Diaper Network. Is the @ with Diaper Network is the NDBN hashtag, or the NDBN name on Twitter. And I think, as Stephanie and Cori talked about, Hootsuite is a great platform to follow along and to see what's being talked about. Like on my own individual dashboard that I use with Hootsuite, not only do I follow, our home feed of people that we follow, but I specifically follow the hashtag diaper need. I also follow hashtag Talk Poverty. And the reason I do that is Talk Poverty is a good organization out there that really puts a lot of statistics out. They have a lot of great followers themselves. They're retweeting new studies that have poverty-related data, articles, stories, and it's a great way to kind of stay on top of things. And, for us, since we're, as a national organization, we tend to take a little broader approach in our Twitter push, and, pushing out new data, new information, new studies, and so we're retweeting a lot of what someone else has done, but adding in our own comment to it. And so I think that's another useful tool for you all. But I think Cori and Stephanie are right on. At the local level, people want to know what you're doing. They want to know what you're doing to make a difference in their community. They want to know what's going on behind the scenes, and they want to have fun. And I think that's the beauty of social media, is that it's an opportunity for folks to have fun. I'm going to move on to the Twitter party. We tested it out last year. I forget what our first time was, but we did it last year, and it was reasonably successful. And what we want this to be is a time during the week that the diaper banks can come together and we can talk about our collective success. What's been going on throughout the week? The Twitter party is going to be scheduled for Thursday, October 1st, from 4 to 5 p.m. Eastern time, and so that'll allow us. It's kind of late in the day on the East Coast, but early, midday on the West Coast, and so we're hoping that we can get a good number of folks to participate. And I think, as Cori mentioned, one of the key attributes of the Twitter party is you must follow the hashtag diaper need in order to participate. So you'll have a feed going so you can see what other people are commenting on, what they're writing about. It'll be an opportunity to ask some questions. We'll invite general public to participate as well. But I think the main opportunity there is to share ideas, share photos, share success stories throughout the week that have occurred throughout the week. And in advance, a lot of folks are out there already doing things, as you guys may have seen from various feeds. Some really good activities have been going on the entire month, and it's just kind of culminating here this last week in September. But again, we'll be shooting out some information on the Twitter party, and also some additional information on suggested tweets and Facebook posts that people can be doing throughout the week on your individual feeds. But really, this is a great opportunity to just kind of test the waters. If you've not engaged in the social media world, test the waters and just get started. The final thing I really want to encourage everyone to do is follow one another. Follow other diaper banks. you know, and if a diaper bank follows you, please follow them back, you know, and I would say for any person who chooses to follow you, you know, do the due diligence, look and see who they are, look at their tweets, make sure they're not insanely crazy, and then follow them. You know, follow back. If somebody follows you, follow them back. Because oftentimes, you know, a lot of the social media gurus will tell you, if I choose to follow you, and after about 2 or 3 weeks you haven't followed me back, and particularly if I'm retweeting some of your posts, I'm going to stop following you. You know, because it is kind of a, you know, people like to grow their numbers, and there's a vanity about social media as well. You know, that there are people out there that just collect followers and supporters and things. So it is important, I think, to respond personally. Just one other caveat on the follow aspect. There are some auto bots out there that will put out auto responses for new followers saying, thank you for following on my, you know, tweet, or, you know, my Facebook post or my Twitter feed. We advise against that, you know, to use the auto feeds there. You know, it takes a little more time to send out personal notes, and you'll miss some from time to time. But again, you can look through Hootsuite and see who your new followers are, and you can decide if you want to follow them back. You can, you know, shoot them a short note and say thanks. You know, our thank you notes generally go out, you know, as I think Cori and Stephanie identified, late in the evening. We kind of send them out that you know, basically from about 7 p.m. on. You know, that's the time frame that we go out, because I know people will see them then. But, you know, that's my 2 cents on that. But so thank you very much, and I think we'll turn back to Susan and Cori and Stephanie. And do you guys have any final things?
One thing I did want to add too, that people can do, particularly during Diaper Need Awareness Week, whether you're on Twitter or Facebook, is take a look at Pinterest or at the diaperneed.org website, and if you see a proclamation for your area, whether it's your mayor or your state, you can send the governor or the mayor a thank you publicly across social media and thank them for supporting the diaper bank, or it's not too late to ask them if, you know, to support Diaper Need Awareness Week by retweeting something or giving a shout out that way. I'm going to
thank you, Susan, for pointing that out. That is on the diaperneed.org website. If you go to the diaperneed.org website, you know, and find the proclamations page on our site, any governor that has issued a proclamation, their Twitter account is listed there, and you just click on it, and it'll take you right to it, and you can say thanks. And as Susan mentioned, we've started actively using Pinterest. You know, it took us a while to figure out how we're going to use it.
Oh.
And so what we're doing on the Pinterest front here is
always in class. I'm crazy.
What we're doing on the Pinterest front here is posting the proclamations that we received, this municipal and state proclamations that we're receiving. And then we also have another board called Diaper Matters. We've been taking kind of you know, information that's from the diaper bank community. If you've got an event coming up, flyers, interesting graphics, I've been grabbing those and throwing them up there. And we're starting to build out that page. And it's a good way to just kind of look and see what other people are doing. You know, it's a really quick snapshot of some of the work that's going on, you know, across the country. So I'd encourage you to visit our Pinterest page as well as, you know, the diaperneed.org website.
And Troy, I'll add in that we also are actively using Pinterest. This is Cori. And we're using it more to, we do post all of our newspaper articles, that type of thing, but we're also using it to connect more with the, you know, the moms and the dads that are on Pinterest. So we do a lot of, you know, kid-friendly stuff on it, not just Eastside Baby Corner related, but to try to encourage, you know, the millions of people on Pinterest, which tend to fall into our right category of people we're looking for. By pinning something they might be interested in, they will then find us on other platforms and follow us there.
Absolutely, and I think, you know, Cori, if you give a couple quick examples of that, you know, like whether it's a recipe for, you know, something, you know, kid-friendly foods or crafty things. I mean, is that the kind of stuff that you're posting?
Yeah, we do, you know, kid-friendly foods, parenting tips and tricks that we've come across, arts and crafts, education stuff for different age groups, basically whatever we can do to kind of get an in with, you know, the moms that, because the moms are the ones that are mostly on Pinterest, and get them to follow us, and then for them to trickle over to check out our Facebook page, check out our website, to check out our Twitter, and also follow us there. So we've kind of taken a little bit different. We do have a lot of Eastside Baby Corner stuff on there, but we try to use it more to pull in followers than to provide information about us.
Yeah, that's great. I think those are wonderful ideas.
I'm going to unmute everybody unless I hear some noise. If you have any questions, we have about 10 minutes left. If you're new to social media or if you have questions, if this is your first time with Diaper Need Awareness Week. Poverty site?
Oh, I believe that's Talk Poverty. TalkPoverty.org is part of the Half and 10 campaign. That's an effort to cut poverty, U.S. poverty, in half in 10 years. And but they have an active, you know, website that they're posting a lot of articles, stories around the country. They've posted a couple that have talked about diaper need specifically, but there's a lot of information about child care, income equality. You know, it does tend to be more liberal in nature, you know, as far as its editorial content. And so, you know, that's, you know, one thing we didn't really talk about, I think, in this discussion is for most of us as nonprofits, we kind of have to walk a fine line of not going one way or the other too much. You know, I think, you know, Cori and Stephanie mentioned it, you know, try to stay, you know, in the middle of the road. But there are some articles out there that are just so poignant that I think, you know, that they're worth people seeing to promote discussion.
Anybody else have any questions?
Hi, this is Jeanette. I needed to know what was the poverty site again, or
You just
what was?
Jeanette is on a cell phone, so she might not have heard it.
No, I had to hang up on the call.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It's Talk Poverty. Talk Poverty.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
TalkPoverty.org is the main URL, and they've got a very active website there. You can find all sorts of great information.
Perfect. Thank you.
One other thing, you know, if you're looking for a list of, you know, diaper banks that have Twitter accounts, if you go to our website or our Twitter account, the @Diaper Network, you can go. There's a section there that has lists there, and you can subscribe to our list, which will basically show you what the diaper banks that we're aware of that have Twitter accounts. Again, we're constantly trying to update that. Anybody else who comes on new, if you see somebody who's not on our list, you know, please let us know. But you can follow us, and then you can go through each one of those Twitter accounts, and you can choose to follow them directly yourself. And again, like I said, it's a good way of supporting one another out there and building numbers.
Does anybody else have any questions? I wanted to add one other tip, which is that if you're very new, if you have a very small following on Facebook or Twitter, participating, you should feel welcome to participate and not worry that nobody hears you or that nobody is following you, because eventually people are going to start following you, and the first thing that they'll do is go check you out, and you'll already have, your profile will be populated with a discussion, and you'll already look like an authority simply because you've been retweeting or sharing or trying to engage in conversations with other community leaders. So don't worry too much if you're new and you don't have too many followers.
On that, and this goes back to, I think, what Cori was talking about with journalists, is that, you know, Twitter's a great way to reach out to your local journalists. Follow them on Twitter. Every one of your news anchors, your news reporters, your writers, your bloggers in your community, Most all of them are on Twitter or Facebook. If they've got a story that's just quasi-related to what you're doing, if it's caring for kids, something like that, just make a comment. Hey, I love that story, and then tag that story. Put a link to that story, because again, they have their vein as well, and they like to see their information being shared. So I think that's really a positive thing.
Did we talk about the Twitter party, and when that happens, that everyone is welcome to also report on their diaper count? Did we get to that?
We didn't talk about the specifics of it. I think, yeah, we want to talk about any kind of success people have had. If you've had diaper drives throughout the week or fundraising events, we'd love to try to gather that information as well, and to put that together collectively, so we can kind of say, hey, this is the impact we had as the entire organization during Diaper Need Awareness Week. And I think, that, again, it's a cumulative effect of what we're doing. There's been some really wonderful things, some of which we haven't even had a chance to post yet. For example, down in Oklahoma City, just yesterday, Miss USA visited one of our NDBN member organizations down there, and they, in advance of Diaper Need Awareness Week, and that was the local story. And so, those are really positive things that do have a cumulative effect on what we're doing.
Any other questions? Anything else you want to add?
Yeah, watch for some email blasts on Google Groups in the next couple of days. We'll be sending out more information about suggested tweets, Facebook posts, the Twitter party, encouragement, share back any successes you're having, so we can get them up, and we'll do our best to populate it out there without getting clogging people's feeds too much. I mean, we're actually absolutely going against the grain of what the advice Cori and Stephanie outlined there, which I totally agree with. But for next week, we're going to be posting all the damn time. So we're going to be really populating our feeds and stuff. So, but that's because of the work that you guys are doing. So thank you.
How do you go on Google Group?
You should be. Are you getting the emails that are from Diaper Bank leaders?
Yep.
Who's that? Is that Danette?
Yes.
It's okay. So this is Susan. I'll send you an email. We can have a conversation to make sure that you can get the past messages on Google Group. Because there's a way when you go to, you can get the emails, but you can also go to Google Group if you think you missed something and you can't find it in your inbox, and you can do a search. We've got it all tagged out for Diaper Need Awareness Week. If you're going to search for Twitter or social media, you'll be able to find all of that information there. But I'll follow up with you in a separate phone call or email about that.
Perfect.
And if anyone has questions throughout the week, if you're trying to get on Twitter and it's not working right, feel free to call NDBN and we can help you and make sure that you're, up and running and it's working correctly.
And Stephanie and I are always happy to help in any way we can.
Well, thanks so much, Cori and Stephanie. That was be an amazing week, and I hope everyone can participate, and Troy and I and everyone here is really excited. So thanks very much, everyone.
Thank you, guys, because this is very informative.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Thank you.
Okay,
Bye. Good day.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.